All right, welcome back to Falcon Blues TV, and I am joined by Pete from the WTF Sunderland podcast for our preview of the Sunderland game coming up this Saturday at the Stadium of Light. Everton finally taking on the best team in the Northeast. Pete, welcome to the channel, and good evening, good morning to China as well.
Yeah, thanks very much, Dave. This might end up being a bit of a love in this one because I think there's quite a bit of bonds, a few bonds between Sunderland and Everton. But yeah, no, I'm speaking to you from Nanning in China, in Guangxi province. I'm over here for a little bit of work. So if you have anybody who does listen to the WTF podcast, no idea why any of your fans would, but yeah, it's just another place I've popped up around the world.
Good stuff. Right, and before we start then, make sure that you click on the QR code below and you get your tickets for Andy Johnson. And this coming Sunday is Jimmy Martin at the Falcon. Both going to be boss days, boss evenings, so make sure you're getting your tickets for them. But let's talk Sunderland then, Pete, because what a start. 9 games, 17 points, 5 wins. Did you even think that was happening? If you looked at it now, you've gone into end of October, we're in 4th place.
Absolutely not. Honest cards on the table, no way did we expect this. I think when we saw the players that they were going to be bringing in and the players that they were looking at, initially, we all kind of thought, oh, yeah, great. Yeah, Granit Xhaka. Yeah, wonderful. Yeah, whatever. 30-odd million for a central midfielder here, there, and everywhere. Yeah, whatever. But then they started coming. And then we thought, well, maybe there must be something wrong with them. And then I was at the pre-season game in Augsburg, and I remember I was just sitting watching it with a mate of mine, and it's a pre-season game, so it's moving at that pace. But watching the impact that Granit Xhaka, Noah Siddiqui, Reinaldo were being able to have on a game, and Robin Roofs and nets, they've recruited better than I can possibly ever remember Sunderland recruiting, and they're playing better on the pitch. I mean, we've had a little running motif that I'm by far and away the oldest on our pod, and I'm 42, but I cannot honestly think of a better Sunderland team. And this is sacrilege considering the Peter Reid years. They're not there. They aren't there yet at the legendary status of Quinn and Phillips and the rest of those lads. But they're a better side, I think. And that's controversial as a Sunderland fan to say, but it's amazing what's happened this year. Long may it continue. And there's a real positivity, not just around Sunderland with football, but what it brings to the city, and it makes a real positivity and a buzz around the whole town. It's a really good start, and so much credit goes to Régis Lebris and to Kirill Louis-Dreyfus, the owner, and then of course the lads who are on the pitch.
But I'm not in any way following. Picking up a club or picking up whatever, but I was absolutely buzzing with that result that you got against Chelsea the other day, because I only caught the highlights, but you just look like a team that are just rapid. Both sides were just flying at each other, just so quick on the break, quick on the wings, and quick in attack every time. I was like, this Sunderland side's going to cause a lot of people trouble, and people aren't ready for it. I don't think people are going to realize. I know you'll probably have your sticky moments, but you went toe-to-toe with Chelsea there, and at their place, pick up a last-minute winner. That's what you want. That's the kind of stuff you dream of. You get that win, and then it goes, okay, well, where can we go from there?
Look, that was a fantastic result. It was a fantastic performance. Am I allowed to swear?
Of course you're not.
Great. It's really annoyed the right people as well. So that's one thing I've really enjoyed for the right week. But yeah, it was a great performance. It's a great result. In previous incarnations of Sunderland, and this is no disrespect to Everton whatsoever, I would be a little concerned about it being a little after the Lord Mayor's show when we would play Everton after such a massive win, and at home when our home form was being good. First time in such a long time, I've got such confidence in Régis Lebris and what Reggie's got that team set up to do. I don't think, and there's no way a Granit Xhaka, from what you're hearing from anybody. I mean, look, everybody says, oh, our captain's great, our captain's a leader, our captain's this, that, and the other. The way that they talk about how Granit Xhaka leads standards in training and on the pitch, I can't see him allowing anything like that. And I think what you're talking about when it comes to the style of play you've seen from Sunderland, that's very much down on what he wanted to see. And they set up against Chelsea at times when out of possession they're with a back five, and then going when in possession and going forward, it would be try Hume, or it can be Reinaldo, and certain times can go forward, and they're playing 4-3-3 in attack. Now, in attack, players like Mayenda, players like Isidore, players like Adrenga, Talbi, um, and now I've gone and forgotten the name of the other guy that plays on the right, who used to play for West Ham and plays there for Villa. But Traore, there we go, screaming at me in the back of my brain. They are rapid. They are very, very quick. And even then, coming from the fullbacks, you've got Reinaldo's incredibly quick, and he's all over the pitch. Trey Hume, I have heard a few people say Trey Hume's got a problem with his pace. He's not as rapid as Mayenda or Isidore, but I think they're doing a sub 10-second 100 meters.
Right.
It's or at least close to it. But Trey Hume's always there, and Trey Hume's got the delivery with his right foot as well, which he's done not only for Sunderland this season, last season, a lot of times as well, but for Northern Ireland as well, where he's really grown into it. I mean, if you think about just a couple of years ago, Trey Hume was playing at Linfield, signing for Sunderland, completely unknown, and now you've really got to put him up there as a solid Premier League fullback. I mean, I know it's only a few games into the season already. We can't be going on about how he's always an established Premier League player, but he doesn't look out of place. And that's been the big thing for Sunderland this season. When I sat down to watch them, it was like, just don't get battered. Don't look like it's men against boys. Don't let it look like when we played the Mags in the FA Cup the other year. Because I'll always remember that. My missus doesn't watch football, isn't really interested in football at all. The odd, she's not allowed to watch Sunderland anymore after a few incidents in which every time she watched, we got beat 3-0 by Coventry. But I remember sitting down to watch that Newcastle match with her, and she just turned, she went, "Why are they all bigger, stronger and faster than your lot?" Well, it's because they cost £500 million to put together. And Sunderland are in league, and just League One. So it's just come out of League One. It's been impressive. They haven't looked out of place in the Premier League, and in fact, as we saw against Chelsea, and as we've seen in some other games, they've looked pretty good at times.
Yeah, good stuff. So I think people can point to games and go, okay, well, you haven't had the hardest of runs, as hardest of starts, but you've still picked up the points, and you've done exactly what you need to do, which is better than what the likes of Leeds have been doing, and Burnley. And you're picking up the points and doing all the right things, but you've got a really tough November and December coming up. We have to talk about it, because the games you've got, because it starts with us and it ends with Newcastle. Do you know what I mean? It's like those next 6 weeks. You got Liverpool.
I mean, I would go further. I would say it goes until, I mean, what am I saying? West Ham on January the 24th, or am I saying Crystal Palace? So, I mean, because you've got to remember, after Everton, so we've got Arsenal at home, then Fulham away, then Bournemouth at home, Liverpool away, Man City away, Newcastle at home, Brighton away, Leeds at home. Oh, Man City! We're playing Man City twice in December. Tottenham and then Brentford. It's going to be rough. And then, of course, in January we are going to lose a few players, key players, to the African Cup of Nations. I think I was a lot more concerned about that. I mean, I am concerned about that, because you're talking about Noah Siddiqui, who is just an engine room running, covers every ass. Very much in the Claude Makelele mould of a central midfielder of stop it, break it up, pass it, get it forward, and doing it all very, very quickly and really well. So he's going to be a massive loss. Reinaldo at fullback. There's and then you've got the wing. I mean, our wingers get decimated by the African Cup of Nations. I think all of them go. 3 of them go anywhere. So it's that's going to be interesting. But yeah, it's. I hate that I'm on an Everton show and I'm going to be saying it, but I just want to get in, get out, get the win on Saturday, because they need that momentum going into a game against Arsenal. And then, you're looking at the Liverpool, it's got Fulham, then Bournemouth, then Liverpool, Man City, and then the Mags. And Yeah, you need those points. We need those points on the board because Sunderland are inevitably going to lose a few games,
Mhm.
and it's going to come. They're going to drop down the table a little bit because you got to remember. Look, if somebody offered me right now, you finish 17th, level on points with the a relegated team, but you stay up on goal difference, I would take their hands off them for it because this year is just about staying in the Premier League, and we're not
Yeah,
going
yeah,
to. I don't think you're going to get any serious Sunderland fan. Not that I'm a serious Sunderland fan. There's very little serious about me. You're going to get any serious Sunderland fan saying, we're genuinely going to push for Europe now, or we're genuinely going to push for 10th now. If we can be there in January, not in fourth position, but somewhere there or thereabouts, then I'll start getting a little bit
Mhm.
carried away. But at the moment, I think carried away is lasting week by week, and
Yeah, yeah.
it's fluctuating at a nice
Enjoy the
steady rate.
ride.
But yeah,
Enjoy the ride,
yeah.
isn't it? Like so, and consolidate where you want to be. But like you say, as long as
Look,
we're to come to the end of the 38 games, you're still in the
six
Premier League. You know,
6 years ago yesterday, Sunderland were getting beat off. Oh, sorry, 2 days ago. I'm so confused with what day it is. I'm so far ahead in the future. Anyway, 6 years ago this week, Sunderland got beat away from home against Oxford, starting with Will Grigg and Mark McNulty up front. It was a harrowing period in this club's history.
yeah,
And so to just be where they are now, we're really enjoying it, and I think you
yeah,
see that from the performances from the fans off the pitch as well in the
yeah.
stadiums, and it's been quite nice to get a bit of recognition for that. Of what the away end at Chelsea was very impressive.
Good stuff. So let's talk about then. You just mentioned Will Grigg there, so I think that's a perfect segue into. Let's talk about. If anyone asks you, they're going to talk about it. So let's talk about the Netflix documentary and where you've started,
Okay.
where you've gone from the first series of that Netflix documentary to where you are now in the space of 6 years, like you said, from the owners who wanted to change the music, but you had a shit PA system to a lad who's 15 years younger than me, but is an absolute billionaire, but now owns Sunderland and has got you to the promised land of the Premier League. And tell me about that. I mean, that ride is so up and down, but must have been, when you look back and go, that was great for where we want to now, where we are, and where we've finally got where we deserve to be.
I'm going to let you say deserve to be, because I think it's all as
I think
we've seen
I think you've earned it. I
from
think you've earned
as we've
it.
seen. Yeah, I'll take earned it, because they definitely have, because there's been we've heard a lot of nonsense as Sunderland fans from people that have come into the club over the years and have wanted to, we're going to do big things and we're going to do this and we're going to do that and we're going to do the other. And you saw a lot of how that actually went down in that Netflix documentary.
Mhm.
I don't have any particular animosity towards Stuart Donald. He just didn't have the money to
Yeah.
take, or he didn't have the juice to play at the level that he was trying to play at. And I think he'd admit that himself. Yeah, the other one, Mr. Get the EDM pumping with his red trousers on. Less said about him, the better, I think. But look, being through it, yes, absolutely. It's been dramatic, certainly. That's why Netflix commissioned it for so many seasons.
Mhm.
I'm in some ways quite glad it's not there now, because even though I've only really heard positive stuff when I've actually met people around the world, when I've been traveling for work and I've been in a taxi in a Sunderland tracksuit and somebody's gone, oh, Sunderland. Oh yes, I see you on Netflix, because he's from Germany, and the I've always had nice positive interactions with people because of it. It was nice to see my club on the screen, because we had done Premier Passions years ago with Peter Reid in charge, which, considering I'm not allowed to swear on this podcast, apparently, Dave, we're not going to quote
No,
any of
no,
that, because
more
it's.
than
I
welcome
was
to
no, no,
swear.
I was only kidding. I thought you said he was. I thought you said I wasn't allowed. But
I'll go
no,
for it.
obviously the Reedy documentary where he's like, fucking men against fucking boys out there, weak as fucking piss. Like, we absolutely adore Reedy, and to be able to see what he was doing behind the scenes was great. And comparing now, obviously, for different reasons, seeing just how much nonsense was going on at Sunderland. I mean, the thing that, the one that makes me laugh now, but didn't at the time, was when he's looking through the transfer targets, and you see the guy look at him and go, why am I seeing Ibrahimovic at the bottom of this list? And that's when they're in the transfer window, when they sign Will Grigg.
Yeah.
I almost do feel a little sorry for Will Grigg, because he was out of his depth. I don't feel too sorry for him because they signed him on a hell of a contract for the lad.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And but yeah, it's that we've come a long way from how bad it actually got of getting smashed 6-0 by Bolton Wanderers in League One. Not that Bolton Wanderers are a bad club to get beat by over the years, but Bolton in League One and this current incarnation, Sunderland are better than that, need to be better than that. And yeah, they are there, but I don't think you'll find anybody who is resting on those laurels or thinking we're gonna it's all easy from here. Because when we did our not review, look ahead, what's it called? Preview. There we go. I got the word right for the season, and we did it live as we had the fixture lists coming out, and I just remember looking and thinking, well, when do the easy games come? Because there's not.
Yeah.
And that's the reality of the Premier League. So we're here. I think we're all very aware that we're the new boys because we all know where we've come from.
Yeah.
Just need to stick it out, settle it, stay in the league this season. Anything else is a bonus. But yeah, that watching your team's dirty laundry being aired in the most public of forums didn't feel great at times. I'm quite glad the new owner, as you mentioned, he's 25 years old, I think, or he might be just turned 26 or something like that. It's not that he's a self-made billionaire. He's the heir to the Louis Dreyfus He's the heir to the Louis Dreyfus fortune, but his father obviously was Mr. Louis Dreyfus was the owner of Marseille for a lot of years. He grew up with his dad in that club and grew up with football around him. So I think we were rightly quite skeptical a little bit when he came in and he started saying things like, I've got a 5-year plan, because obviously we'd heard things like that before. Yeah. But I remember speaking to my dad just before the playoff final, and I says, do you know what? After all this, I think he might actually have had a 5-year plan. Yeah, so we're very happy with the ownership, and I'd rather we stayed off those kind of fly on the wall documentaries, unless of course we do make the Champions League and then Netflix have one up their sleeve somewhere and they can give it to me and I can just have that wash over me with nothing but joy.
Yeah, we've secretly been recording, a little secret camera here and there, all that kind of stuff. You just wait and see. Right, so looking at Sunderland and Everton then, one of the main things that joins these two clubs together, apart from Peter Reid obviously, is Jordan Pickford. Jordan for Everton will forever be that player who will almost say single-handedly at times kept us in the Premier League over the last 4 seasons. In the times where we've been absolutely on our arse, Jordan has been that mainstay and that one player that you could rely on every game. So I hope when it comes to Jordan retiring, that they erect a statue in his honour at the new stadium. I genuinely do, because he deserves it. He takes a lot of unnecessary bad press from people who just don't watch him week in, week out. But he's just a lad who wears his heart on his sleeve for me. And to do it at Everton, that's all I want. And I'm sure he's still a Sunderland lad through and through as well.
Look, if things had been different, I would have loved that he never left the club. Same with Jordan Henderson as well. However, the club that Sunderland were at that time and the quality of a player that Jordan Pickford is, and certainly was as a young player at the time, there was no way he could stay with Sunderland. The money that came in for him, we naively hoped would go back into the club at the time. However, there was all off the scenes and that money was getting used elsewhere. And, Jordan Pickford is loved on Wearside. Yeah. He's every one of us getting to do what we would love to be able to do. He looks and sounds like every average lad from Sunderland, from Washington, where he's from. And he's class. It's not only the fact that he's from Sunderland and he's like that, he's a very, very good goalkeeper. And some of the grief he gets in the UK for his England performances, things like this, I'll never understand, because he's the best goalkeeper England's had, statistically.
Yeah.
I think whether you rate him higher than a David Seaman or you go further back and rate him higher than a Gordon Banks, I think that's your own preference and how much have you watched of those people. But he's probably the best, and certainly statistically is the best goalkeeper England's ever had. I love him to bits. Now, I was lucky enough to be I was covering the World Cup in Russia in 2018. and I got sent to go and do the England-Costa Rica game. I think they won 6-1. But because Pickford had let in that one goal, I was furious. And he's coming through the media thing. It's like a serpentine bit where they walk through, and they can stop and speak to journalists if they want to, but they don't have to. It's at the end. Anyway, so I saw him coming along, and I've got my cameraman there, and I'm like, right, let's get Jordan, you got any chance of a word for a lad from Sunderland? And he looks up, and he's got his Powerade, and he's sipping on it. He's like, yeah, no, I'm not that. I'm not feeling it today. I was like, oh, well, man, my cousin Kate taught you English. He goes, Kate, wait. Well, to you, it's Mrs. Stebbin. And he goes, I've got to dig it now, haven't I? Right. And gets him. He's a lovely lad. I've got a lot of time for him. Every Sunderland fan has a lot of time for him. I think you're going to hear a massive roar at the Stadium of Light when his name gets announced on Saturday. I hope he doesn't have a great game.
Yeah.
Can't say that. But we all love Jordan Pickford.
Good stuff. Right then, I'm gonna finish this up because I'm actually doing a podcast with your guys.
I will tell you one thing though. I will tell you one thing. Don't be surprised at the reaction Davy Moyes gets, because as much as I know he's adored on Merseyside and the blue side of Merseyside, but in Sunderland, dear me, he didn't have a good time at Sunderland. He didn't help himself with some of his comments. So be prepared, that might get a bit tasty. But yes, go talk to the rest of them. I'm gonna have a couple more hours kip and then go and do whatever. I don't even know what day it is. I keep looking at things. It can't be Thursday already.
It is for you.
Okay. Thanks very much, Dave. You keep me right. Look, this has been a pleasure. I could keep on going for ages and ages and ages, but because it's just talking about Sunderland, which is what I like doing. But yeah, we can't wait for the match. Looking forward to it. And apart from Saturday, best of luck to Everton for the rest of the season. Two of my best mates, Peter O'Connor and Mariusz Stravinsky, are both big old Everton fans and have given me plenty of stick over the years. So I'm hoping that I get to return the favour on Saturday, but you have a good season. It was on Monday, I beg your pardon. It's a long time to wait. But yeah, I hope you have a good season, but not on Monday night.
Top man. Right, okay. So make sure you're liking and subscribing to the channel. Pete, it's been an absolute pleasure, mate. It really has. It's been fun.
Cheers.
I know it's like 20-4 over there at the moment. So it must be like
something like that.
What is it, like Pro Plus and Red Bull keeping you awake at the moment?
No, mate, it's Granite Xhaka's Sunderland getting me bouncing out of bed to come and talk about them. And we didn't even touch on players like Wilson Isidore, even Mayenda, even Brian Brobby, who was scored tonight in the UK, which is Wednesday night, for the under-21s where he's being played. So he was the lad who held up the ball for the winner. So keep an eye out for Brian Brobby perhaps getting a start on a few more minutes against Everton. Don't think he'll get a start. But he's been playing some football tonight as well. So they're all raring and ready to go. Bring on Monday.
Happy days. Right, up the Softies, Colin Chong. Make sure you're subscribing. Cheers, Pete. All the best.
No worries. Bye-bye.